Hi, Sotak. Hope all is well. I'm just checking in for week 63. Have all my notes here in front of me so I can be a little bit organized because I only have about 5 minutes and I'm going to try not to run over. So this was a good week. Got back into the swing of things, got to train 3 days a week. Sleep was actually pretty good. Had a couple of 5 hour nights, but other than that, tried to keep it at six or seven. I got a couple of 8 hour nights, so that was pretty good. It just kind of depends. And then, yeah, I'm just going to be trying to sleep as much as possible given the considerations. I was a little bit down this week. I think it's just been a lot of stress. It's very hard to even carve out 5 minutes for something like this. Seriously, it's just every minute of every day is there's something going on. And even on my commute, I kind of just try to be productive. So I just think I haven't been setting aside enough time to relax, which is hard. But I think it just is what it is. I've been really enjoying my time in the gym. Just been feeling a little bit down about my physique. I feel like I definitely don't look like the way that I did at the end of my cut. Some of that could be bloating, some of that could be a bunch of other things, but I definitely feel like I'm not as defined, particularly in the abdominal region. And I was just kind of thinking, in a couple of weeks, maybe I'll be sleeping a little bit more. We'll be a little bit more settled, still busy, but hopefully I'll have my dumbbells and hopefully my bench at some point, and I could throw in a fourth day, or I could kind of throw in maybe a fourth day in the gym early morning. But I was just thinking, would it be a good idea or a bad idea if I wanted more definition to do like a 4 week mini cut? If I can be sleeping 6 to 7, maybe 8 hours a night, averaging maybe about 7 over the course of the week, and then training 4 days a week. Could I pull something like that off? Am I risking muscle loss too much? Is that even worth it? What do you think? And I'll send you a gym selfie tomorrow just so we could see where things are relative to where I finished my cut. So those are kind of the first things, the just checking in for the week and just being a little bit spread a little thin. Number two is just thinking about getting my physique back to sort of the peak for summer, just to be on the beach, and just to kind of feel like, I'm in shape. Um, Wanted to think about exercise selection a little bit more critically, just analytically. Then thinking about bench press a little bit. I've been stuck on that exercise for a little bit during this rough training period, but for me, I noticed on the second set of my last bench workout, my I didn't even realize it, but my shoulder had drifted forward, my right shoulder, and then I caught it at the last rep. And so just there, for me, I was wondering whether it makes sense to think about doing something else, like think about doing incline, think about doing dumbbells. Bench press is, I understand, a pec, front delt, and tricep exercise, but there's an alignment issue for a lot of people where I would have to have my arm out here to mostly have my pec fibers lined up, and then from this angle, I just don't know how steep my sternal angle is and how much mechanical advantage my pec fibers have in moving that weight. I was just curious why we do bench press. I mean, it's an easy classic exercise to do, but I was just wondering whether for me it sort of makes sense and works, and if there's more optimal things we could do. But I kind of like it. I want to stick with it, but if I do, I would like to drop back in intensity a little bit just so I could focus on technique and keep an eye out for those drifting shoulders. I always focus on retracting my shoulder blades, pressing them, and keeping them back through the motion. But it was just weird noticing under a very heavy weight for me, just like, oh my God, my shoulder had drifted forward and I hadn't realized it. Yeah, the incline machine in my gym is kind of a little bit yucky too. The handles kind of suck. I'll be thinking about that. And I think that's kind of about it. That's all the stuff I've been thinking about. I gave you enough questions in my other thing, but that's kind of what's going on. Just a general check-in for the week. Thinking about, man, I'm like pretty soft. Would it be dumb to mini cut right now? And then just like thinking about the bench exercise selection. But I'm pretty excited for getting some dumbbells at home, getting some stuff at home. Just I think it would make my life a lot easier. For me, there's a lot of great gyms in New York. It's just I would need something that's very, very close by so I could go right before work. I wake up at 6, and I wake up at 6 instead of 5 because if I woke up at 5, I would only get 4 hours of sleep. And the only reason I go to bed at the time I do is because I'm taking care of my kids up until that point. So, when a lot of people say, oh, I don't have time for the gym, I don't have time for the gym, I'm like, sure, I have time for the gym. I don't have time for the gym and more than 7 hours of sleep. Like, as a practical matter, the way that my life functions, right now it's just kind of like that. But hopefully over the next few weeks, as my baby's sleeping more, that's going to get a little bit easier. I think having access to some home stuff with these dumbbells, I think is going to be a big difference for me. It's going to make me feel a lot better. That's kind of where we are. Thank you so much for everything.